Welcome to the FA Cup final special here on the ChesnoidGaming channel with Chelsea Football Club. We have West Ham at Wembley. Apologies for this video not coming out yesterday. It was my intention to have a second upload for you, but as you may well have seen via the community post to put up, some unfortunate longer term pain after some dental work on Monday than anticipated meant that I wasn't really in a position to do much at all yesterday, especially when it comes to moving the mouth quite so much. So unfortunately wasn't able to get it recorded, but pain's lower today, paracetamol's doing the trick, and so far I'm alright. So we're going to power through and hopefully power through towards a second trophy this season. Let me say thank you to Jake for rejoining the Patreon and to Callum for joining it for the very first time. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you to those of you in the background as well. The Plump Chicken, to Dream Villain, and there was a first one there that I just missed. If you'll bear with me 1 second, I can say thank you as well to Ciantamo for your continued support in the comment section. Thank you all for continually dropping your comments in the comment section. What I'd like you to do now is actually leave me a comment in the comment section with your prediction for this FA Cup final. West Ham are a decent side. They finished relatively well in the Premier League, I think 12th. It was better than they did last year, all told, in real life anyway. 12 wins, 12 draws, 14 defeats. They scored a lot of goals, you'll notice. 63 scored, which is well more than anybody else around them. But 65 conceded as well. So, doesn't necessarily bode that well for them for the FA Cup. To give you full disclosure, we beat them by 2-1 in, actually, the last episode that we played in the season finale. That was the game that won us the league, in fact. But it was a very tight game and not that straightforward a one. And earlier on in the season when we played West Ham, when we get there, where is it? We won 2-1 as well. So we have two 2-1 wins against West Ham so far this season. So what are your predictions for this FA Cup final? Do leave them in the comment section down below without skipping to the end and cheating, of course. The pre-match report shows them as you see them there. Andre Silva was one of the best goal scorers in the league this year. Right up there with Mo Salah and Tammy Abraham of our very own starting 11 in the first team. Their form's not great right now. 3 defeats in a row, one of which was to us, and no win in the last 5 at all, with 2 draws prior to that. But it's a really capable side, to be fair, with Mohamed Kudus to come on off the bench. They've got Naif Aguirre there as well if they need him defensively. Evan Ferguson and Maxwell Cornet will be dangerous. Danny Ings is probably a little bit too old now to play a part in a positive manner that would actually change a game. But you never know. Lafont in goal is obviously very strong as well, but I'm not going to waffle on too much longer. Do drop the video a like, I'd appreciate it very much. Season 3 will start tomorrow. We'll be jumping up to Legendary for Season 3, but this is our last game on World Class before we have our opportunity to test ourselves at a higher level. Not just with the difficulty, but of course with Champions League football next year as well. But for now, we're concentrating solely on this FA Cup final and then of course a full season roundup after that. But right, in this particular moment, I'm going to start my strongest possible team and hopefully we're going to come back with a trophy. Wembley Stadium for the FA Cup final. It's an all-London affair. East versus West. Hopefully, it's bloody West that comes out on top. Although apparently Lucas Paqueta's going to score a goal, so that doesn't necessarily bode well. But we get one of our own. Pedro Gonçalves apparently is going to score and we'll win that trophy by the end of it. That's the plan anyway. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Off we go. Caicedo to Reece James. Trying to take it slowly in the opening stages here. You can see how many white shirts are back there just blocking up passing lanes was the way that I was going to phrase that. And there you go. So they're going to sit back with a low block and just be in the way, West Ham. And then when they spring into action going the other way, you can quite clearly see there's quite a lot of white shirts getting forward as well. So attacking numbers, defending numbers, and I'm sure they'll hope to score goals in numbers. We saw from the league table before. They have scored a lot this season. They have conceded a lot this season. Lucas Paqueta doesn't do the scoring into the stand. Sterling to Caicedo. Caicedo to Fernandes. Fernandes forward to Tammy. And all the way out wide was the plan. It does go there, but not necessarily to the man I intended it to. And Kunku, space for Enzo. Enzo Fernandez gives Chelsea the lead in the 16th minute, free around the penalty spot and buried. We take an early advantage. West Ham with the first chance through Paqueta, not taken into the stand when the ball on that occasion. But Enzo just drifting, just like a Chelsea number 8 should, into the box at the right time. Frank Lampard-esque. Of course, Frank came from West Ham to Chelsea, so very, very apt that a number 8 should be scoring a goal in similar fashion. And we lead by 1-0. Flynn Downs, he's run straight into Enzo. That's poor from Flynn. He's probably the weakest player in their starting lineup. West Ham. Sterling looking for Tammy. Oh, surely from here, Tammy makes it 2. It's a 2-goal haul in the space of about 6 minutes. And West Ham are really rocking now. Again, we saw from the league table, they do concede goals as well. One of the highest goals conceded tallies of the entire league. And proving it, we are the best goal-scoring side in the Premier League. They're one of the worst conceding. It was probably only going to go one way in terms of how many we scored. It was more just a case of how many can we keep out. West Ham surely will score goals in this game. But at the moment, they can't help but give the ball away straight from kickoff. Is it going to happen for them again here? Sterling looking for a third, but Lafont makes the save. Andre Silva brings that down well. Play continues after a foul. Little shove in the back. Flynn Downs doesn't lose it in the middle this time. And Alvarez finds Paqueta. Paqueta to Benrahma. There's an overlapping run. Reece James with a wonderful interception. And because there was that overlapping run, there's now space in behind where their left back should have been. I'm going to look for Tammy. Takes a deflection off an arm and we'll have the free kick. And Reece James can really whip one from here. Can we find Tammy Abraham in the box, perhaps? We might do, you know. Kurt Zuma's there. Doesn't play in blue and white anymore, Kurt Zuma. We're not looking to try and get him in. Andre Silva might be in himself here, but he's not ever really been blessed with electric pace, Andre Silva, so that wasn't as big an opportunity as it initially seemed it may well be. Here's Benrahma going one way then the other. Finds Andre Silva, who does squeeze a shot off. It's just not very good. Soda with a big old switch. Might just be happy to see this through till half-time unless a big opportunity presents itself. Like this. Oh, please be onside. Raheem, he is! Alwyn Lafont with a very good save to ensure that West Ham are still in the game. That came off Kurt Zuma, unfortunately. 2-0 continually. A strong first half showing from the Blues, which hopefully will be enough come 90 minutes to see us lift the trophy. I'm looking forward very much to the new cutscene that comes at the end of the season with the parade of all the silverware you've won. Oh, what a delivery! Oh, it's gorgeous! It's superb! It's 3! Pedro Gonçalves on the end of the most beautiful whip from Raheem Sterling. How is that for a cross? My God! Pinpoint accurate. Surely that's game. Match facts at half-time aren't that heavily weighted in our favour. They are, but only slightly. 57% possession, 5 shots to their 3. The XG's very high, to be fair. We've passed the ball considerably more than them, but it's probably down to the way that I play more so than anything else. 1 corner, 1 free kick. Not really much came from either. But West Ham have proven in that first half they have the capability to create some chances. But they're going to have to create the same amount again in this second half and be 100% clinical with them when they come, if they're to do anything against this Chelsea defence. But at the moment, they cannot do anything in the midfield to even consider threatening. I'm going to try a cross again, like that. Oh, Pedro deflected and falls back to a West Ham man. Paqueta nods that back to Flynn Downs. They use him a lot, Flynn. I don't know what his potential is like in career mode, Flynn Downs, but they do favour him in this save right now. Benrahma with options in the middle. That's just as beautiful a cross as Raheem Sterling's. It just, unfortunately for them, doesn't come to anything. Oh, Andre Silva. How's he done that then? Badiashile with a fantastic interception, a very, very important interception, and unfortunately for West Ham, we get a lucky bounce. Everything seems to be falling my way in this one, which, after some dodgy decisions in the season just gone, I'm very thankful for. Like we say, we will be switching to Legendary again for next season to up the challenge, as I certainly wasn't good enough for Legendary at the game when it first launched, but maybe now that I'm up to speed with the gameplay and we have a better side, more to the point as well, I can actually do the business at the more difficult difficulty. Ultimate still, I think, is probably a bit too far for me. Albert Lafont with a good save. And Sterling gets a block on that, but it'll be a West Ham ball into Benrahma. It's been very good for them so far. Benrahma, one of their better players in a team performance that hasn't been too spectacular. Miranda trying to get forward down the left here. In the end, we forced him so far wide, his only real option was to have the shot. Was never going to squeeze a cross away. Jared Bowen with the corner for the Hammers. They're attacking the Chelsea end at the moment. And they're falling over themselves to have a chance. But it's just not working for them. I'm sorry, Hammers fans. It's not going to be your day. With less than 25 minutes left, you are going to lose this FA Cup final. Not sure how many FA Cups either side have won in their history. Certainly Chelsea have won more in recent history, that's for sure. And I think it's probably safe to say, oh, as we hit the bar looking for a fourth, Chelsea are going to be adding one more to their tally before West Ham do one themselves. Kufal. Mavropanos dinked forward. That's not a great header. And Bowen finds Andre Silva. Goes for the back heel. Jared Bowen was in and away there. And they elected not to play him in. Whether he didn't see him or what, I'm not sure. Get this into Tammy. I haven't made any substitutions yet. I don't know, actually, if West Ham have made any substitutions yet. Neither side feeling the need to change things, even though West Ham certainly must need to consider changes, but it's definitely too little too late, to be fair. When the third went in, that was probably too little too late. It's Chelsea 4, West Ham 0. We had a quick Google. The last time the FA Cup was won by West Ham was 1980. The last time Chelsea won the FA Cup was 2018, and certainly it's coming back to us sooner than it's going back to them. They are losing at Wembley, and losing quite considerably at Wembley here, West Ham. Both previous games against them ended 2-1. This one has had more goals, and they've all gone the same way rather than be shared. And at the moment, they can't even keep the ball on the pitch. Chilwell forward into Pedro Gonçalves. I can't get away from Kufal. Trying to just take my time to then maybe play the ball around the corner. Jared Bowen. It's a great ball over the top. Chilwell can't get there. Kufal has Paqueta. And not even a consolation goal. Andre? I was going to say Andre Silva. Diogo Costa. They're not even close. Diogo Costa wants his clean sheet at Wembley, if you don't mind. Didn't get one in the semi-final, I don't recall, against Arsenal. Sterling gives that away, and it won't be a fifth, it won't be a 5-star scoreline, but it will be a 5-star performance from this Chelsea side to win us our second trophy this year. And, well, next year we're going for the big one, that being the Champions League, of course. But this season, whilst we didn't get the Carabao Cup, we came close, but unfortunately it was Manchester City we came up against in a double-legged semi-final, and that's as tough as it comes domestically. Luckily for us, Newcastle saw off Manchester City in the FA Cup. Then West Ham saw off Newcastle, and we've now seen off West Ham. Premier League in the bag, FA Cup in the bag. It will be a domestic double season for Chelsea Football Club, and we will see, at least I hope, provided it doesn't bug for some reason, we will see that trophy parade, the bus parade, through the streets of West London, parading both the Premier League and the FA Cup. Reece James has already lifted one trophy for us in this save. He now has the honour of lifting another. It's not been that long since Chelsea lifted the FA Cup, but certainly they made a habit of winning it in the past 15 years or so. And FA Cup number 9 for Chelsea Football Club. Trophy number 2 for Reece James in this season, lifting it as captain. And hopefully it's not the last trophy we lift, because we're doing one more season here at Chelsea, and we'd very much like to win the Champions League next year. That will be the priority. Whether we go ham for a Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup treble or not, I don't know. It depends how much strength and depth we can have at the club. We'll have a full season roundup, show you guys how everything went down in all the competitions we were involved in this year. Have a look and see who we might be playing in the Champions League next year. Have a little think about what we might be doing transfer-wise in the new season as well. But right now, we're just going to soak in the scenes at Wembley and take that cup. Actually, not that far from Wembley, back to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's 9th FA Cup trophy in their history. Lovely! Here we go! It's happened immediately. It was like literally the next day. Champions! Everyone's loving life. Fans on the streets, lining up the tower blocks, having the time of their lives atop the open bus. This is a lovely edition, great edition. I can't wait to do this with Cambridge United, I tell you that much. Hopefully we'll get the chance to do it with Leeds United as well, and who knows what other saves we'll be doing throughout the course of the year. We've got one more year here at Chelsea before we think about doing anything else, so we'd love to have a bus parade like this again next season to lift yet more trophies. The Premier League and the FA Cup lifted aloft. And we're absolutely thrilled with that. Eddie Beach wants his contract extended. I don't think that's going to be happening, sir. Right, we'll advance as far as a couple of weeks later just to make sure that everything is completely done with regards to all of the different competitions. And well, seeing as you're still with me, let's dive straight into a season roundup then. So the competitions that we were involved in, well, of course, the Premier League. You saw you saw this table in yesterday's episode where we won the title by 9 points from Manchester City. In the end, it was a comfortable win, but it was very close for a long time. And relegated were Leeds, Coventry and Middlesbrough. Or I was going to say all three that came up, but yeah, it must be all three that came up, going straight back down again in this second season. Leeds United, Coventry City and Middlesbrough back down to the Championship. The FA Cup was won by us. The Carabao Cup was not won by us. It was won by Arsenal, who beat Wolves in the semi-final. It was City, of course, that we lost to. The UEFA Super Cup this year was won by Manchester City. They won the treble last year, of course. Juventus won the Champions League this season, however. The Europa League was won by Napoli, so Italian winner, English winner. Arsenal win the Europa Conference League. What they were doing in the Europa Conference League in the first place is going to be a mystery to Arsenal fans, certainly. Not necessarily the competition you expect them to be playing in. They will be Champions League next year, despite getting Europa League qualification via that Conference League win. Means that there should be some extra spots available for other league teams to get into Europe this year. So, how did other competitions go and how did our players do? Tammy Abraham shares the golden boot with Mo Salah, although having scored 23 goals in less games, 7 less, no less, I think he deserves the title more so than Mo. And to be honest, Tammy Abraham got more assists than anyone else in the competition as well. So a golden boot, and we dub it the silver boot as well for the creativity side of things. And Diogo Costa with the golden glove as well with 15 clean sheets. Although Ederson was the team of the year goalkeeper and Erling Haaland was the team of the year striker apparently. Diogo Costa got goalkeeper of the year, but in the team of the season team, Ederson got the nod, and Tammy Abraham got striker of the year, but in the team of the season, Erling Haaland was tipped and got that starting spot. But Tammy's the best striker in the league this season. I don't think really there's anything anyone else can say about that. More goals than anybody else, other than Mo Salah, and more assists than anybody else outright. Joining us from the Championship, back in the Premier League, will be Leicester and Burnley. And then one of Watford, Norwich, Luton and Sheffield United will grace the top flight once more. Getting relegated down to League One will be Charlton, Preston and Peterborough. I won't celebrate too much because I still think Cambridge are in the relegation zone in League One. Portsmouth and Bolton promoted back to the Championship. Blackpool, Plymouth, Rotherham and Bristol Rovers in the fight to join them. And, well, they weren't bottom, but it was only on goal difference. 40 points, a full 11 points from safety. Cambridge back down to League 2. Wrexham do the same after promotion into League 2 for the first season. They got promoted again, back-to-back. I'm sure they'd love that in real life, but back down again after this year. Wigan going down to League 2 as well. Yikes. And Carlisle United finish rock bottom of League 1. Going up are Notts County. Burton Albion back to League 1 and Tranmere. Harrogate Town, Newport County, Port Vale and MK Dons get the potential of promotion via the playoffs, of course. And by a considerable margin, Sutton United and Crawley Town were the worst sides in the Football League. And were it on the game, they'd be destined for the National League. Monaco win in France on goal difference ahead of Marseille, who, between them, were a point clear of Paris Saint-Germain. Now that is a title fight that's gone right down to the wire. That's fantastic. In the Bundesliga, Bayern, wow. Same points, same goal difference. Dortmund won more games, but it's done first on goals scored. And that's Bayern's by just 3. Now that's a title fight. Wow. Hopefully we have something similar in the Premier League next year. That would make things really exciting. Not quite so close in Serie A. Juventus do the Champions League and Serie A double. Who won the Coppa Italia? I've no idea. But hopefully at some point in the future, in career mode, we will be able to see who wins what in other countries when you're not managing there. Will bite my tongue. Napoli second, Inter third, and Lazio fourth. In the Eredivisie, it's Feyenoord. Ajax third, and I'm sure at the moment, Ajax fans would bite your hand off to be third in the bloody table. Remarkable start to the season for Ajax in real life. It's just really, really outrageous, to be honest. Porto beat Benfica on goal difference in Portugal. In Scotland, it's Rangers from Hearts and Celtic only third. In the La Liga EA Sports division, Atleti from Barcelona from Real. In the La Liga High Promotion division, it was Granada that get promotion back up. And we don't really care about any of the other leagues. So that's going to be the big sides in and around us in the Champions League next year. So our objectives this season were not able to do the Youth Development one, but I haven't focused on that at all in this save. This isn't really the save for that. We got one nationality of the same club player. We got a streak of 7 games with at least 1 goal scored in away matches. In fact, the streak went to 11. Financially, we just have 3 more years to do that, and we've already done it by 60% of the 25%. Domestic success, win the league, done. No, sorry, it was actually finishing the top 4, done, but we won the league. Win the FA Cup, done. Continentally, no expectations this year because we weren't in Europe. Next year, we will be. Now, thinking ahead to next year, we are going to free up all of the cash that's there at the minute, plus whatever we have next year as well. It's going to be a hefty budget, and we're going to be free spending next season. The question is, where, who, what, how, and why? So at the moment, the obvious signing to make is a starting centre-back that's much higher rated than Badiashile or Disasi. They're the obvious ones. So I'm probably going to sell Chaloba. I'm probably going to sell one of Disasi or Badiashile because we've got Levi Colwill coming back from loan at Aston Villa, and he will fit in a squad role. As a homegrown Chelsea player, we'll focus on him. So in the comment section, which centre-back do I sell of Badiashile and Disasi? One of them has to go. 100% definitively has to go. Outside of that, I'm not going to sign a striker. Tammy and Broja are devastating. I don't need to replace them. It would purely be on an overall rating preference only, which is not necessary for us. Out wide, I'm perfectly happy with Gonçalves, Sterling, Noni and Mudryk. At fullback, Chilwell is 85 and has been one of the standout players in this save so far, and at only 28, he doesn't need replacing. Right back, Reece James does not need replacing. We bought a new backup at right back. We have Martson at left back, who's perfectly good enough. That's fine. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes. Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, perfectly good enough for the starting lineup. João Palhinha is perfectly good enough as a backup. Leslie's good enough as a backup. I might be open to selling Conor Gallagher and signing a new properly world-class centre mid and Caicedo dropping to the bench. That might be the only other deal that we do other than the centre-back. But at the moment, I'm thinking more centre-back than anyone else. And outside of that, I don't think I need much more. But if you'd like me to sell Gallagher and sign some worldy of a centre mid to come in and partner alongside Enzo Fernandez, then depending on finances, which I'm sure shouldn't be a problem, I am open to doing so. To give you a full idea of what the squad currently looks like and who might stand the chance of growing it further next year, Diogo Costa is up 3 to 87, expecting that continued growth for him into the new season. Petrovic was up 2 to 78 this year. He's perfectly good enough as a backup, and to be honest, I don't think he's played for me this season at all. He hasn't. Chilwell and Mountson we're absolutely happy with. Centre-back, Colwell is 80 rated and will come back and grow. Badiashile and DSRC, one of them has to go. Trevor Chalobah, his contract expires in 12 months. I'll delegate a renewal, hopefully at a level that will see someone else sign him, because I don't want to put him on too high wages and then no one else wants to pay them. 1 year added on. Good transfer list. Badiashile or DSRC will leave. Wesley Fofana will start alongside the incoming, as of yet, undecided new centre-back. Reece James and Baku, I'm perfectly happy with. In midfield, Caicedo's up 2 to 85. We expect him to continue to grow. Lavia comes back into the fold, but he hasn't grown that well at 79. I don't know if Romeo Lavia is going to be a man that gets involved too much. With Leslie having grown up 3 to 80, us having Enzo, contemplating selling Conor Gallagher, replacing him with someone that's even better. Lavia, it just isn't it for this save. But I'm definitely open to signing Romeo Lavia in another save at a different club for sure. Carney Chukwuemeka equally needs to go out on loan again next year, and Andre Santos and Cassidy, they're just not good enough for this Chelsea save right now, unfortunately. I might send Cole Palmer out on loan and Ronnie Thomas out on loan again and sign a backup to Nkunku at cam. But at the same time, Gonçalves is sensational in that cam spot. So I don't know as I need to. And then I've got Noni and Mudryk, who have both grown this year and will grow again next year to fill that role. So I'm apprehensive to do that. Nkunku's up 3 to 91 this year. Tammy's up 3 to 84. Bro's up 1 to 79. I don't quite know how he hasn't grown by more. Nico Jackson is up 2 to 83. I don't enjoy him. We saw him play against us for Aston Villa recently, and he was rubbish in that game as well. So I'm probably going to sell Nico Jackson, if I'm completely honest, next season. Fofana will go back out on loan. Washington will go back out on loan. And I think the squad really has taken shape already. And there's only a finite number of areas where, when you get to this stage, that you can improve. But we'll wait and see what happens. 25 goals for Tammy, 21 goals for Nkunku, 19 for Broja in 27 games. He's 79 rated. I just don't need a striker. He's just too good. Or, more to the point, he's just good enough. Nico Jackson, I could keep him at the club, but I'm just not going to use him. So I might as well sell him. So we'll sell him. 14 assists for Nkunku and 15 for Tammy as well. Also, of note, Raheem Sterling with 12. Noni Madueke with 12 assists as well, which is actually very good considering he didn't play that regularly. Although 5 of them came in the FA Cup. Mudryk with 9 as well. The majority of his, in fact more of his, came in the Premier League. Enzo Fernandez with 8 as well, both goals and assists in the Prem. 2 goals in the FA Cup too. All in all, really, really pleased with this season. Would have been great to win the Carabao Cup as well, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, you can't say no to a double, really, can you? Especially after the way the first season went. The side has grown exponentially this year. It's been, like, there is night and day between the side that we started at the beginning of Season 2, especially since the beginning of Season 1. So, we'll up it to Legendary 4 next year and see how we get on. The reason we dropped it previously is it just felt a bit BS. But maybe that was because I wasn't used to the game. We had average at best players. And now I'm more experienced with the new gameplay, and well, they're not average anymore either, that starting lineup. So we'll see what happens in the summer transfer window and what you guys decide in the comment section. We'll probably run over it in a bit more depth in the opening episode to the season tomorrow. So I know not everybody will have made it to the end of this episode to have a look at it, but I will show you guys the Patreon players then as we end here. I'll update the spreadsheet and show you in a bit more depth at the end of the summer transfer window, so we can keep up to date with any moves, etc. But those of you that are on the Patreon, feel free to pause at any point to have a look at your players overall. If you'd like to see your individual stats in a bit more detail, do drop by the stream and I'll be able to show you all of your individual stats, etc. And like I say, when we get to the new season, I'll update everybody's starting ratings, and then at the end of the summer transfer window, we'll give you a fuller update as to what's happened transfer-wise for everybody. There were quite a few moves this year. I'll show you the spreadsheet in just a second, but quite a few moves to a number of big clubs for a number of players, and you guys are going to start to get involved. We're going to be coming across a number of you more regularly in Season 3 than we have been so far in this save. So the spreadsheet looks like this right now, with a number of you in green having made moves this season. That's more than I've had in any season in any of the saves we've had Patreon players in previously. We do still have a number of you yet to join in for the next save who've joined the Patreon at the VIP level after we started this Chelsea save. Thank you very much for that support, of course. Thank you to all of you that are still on the Patreon at any level, regardless of the VIP level. It very much helps me out in ensuring that I can continue to do this for a living, because I know very well that I make niche content. You guys know that I make niche content that doesn't bang 50,000 views a video. So your support on the Patreon keeps me going. But that will be all for today. I'm going to go and record. I don't know what's going on there. Two people just missing bodies. They've got arms and they've got heads, but nothing else. Let's skip that. So that will be all for today's episode. I will be starting Season 3 tomorrow. I appreciate your patience in waiting for this one. I apologise, but I just wasn't in a position to be rabbling on yesterday. I was in too much pain. So thank you very much for your continued support. The My Player continues on the second channel. The Formula 1 continues on the second channel. The Football Manager continues on the second channel. It's a busy place over at Chesnoid Plays, well worth your subscription. Of course, it's all recorded live on Twitch as well, so there's a link in the description to that too. But for now, that's all from me for today. Thank you very much for watching. Go away with just your heads and arms, it's really freaky. And I'll see you tomorrow.